had the initial build your repertoire conversation with a student the other day. That's the one where I tell them, now that you've got this song under your belt, you can add it to your repertoire. You know, the group of songs you've worked on and learned that you can pull out and play for somebody else. So when one of your friends comes over and says, I heard you were taking lessons, play something for me. Well, now you're ready. You can pull this newly accomplished song out from your music folder, or better yet, maybe you've got it memorized, and now you can play it for your friend. They'll be amazed at the sound and at your new ability. It might even seem like magic. And you'll love when you know they're thinking, wow, that's cool, they're really good. All the work you've put into practicing that very song is invisible now. You know what it took to get you there, but listeners don't. To them, unless they're musicians themselves, it will sound skillful and artistic, even magical. We have a local artist who really embodies this idea. Mark Noble is a creative, talented artist who lately seems to have found his niche by painting full-scale murals, at least 4 that I know of on the exterior of local buildings. His beautiful murals reflect the community, places of interest, and activities many of us can relate to. Let's take a look at his latest big project. How'd you get into painting murals?
So the funny story is I was right out of college and I walked into a restaurant downtown and I was trying to sell him like paintings to hang on the wall. He's like, nah, I'm not interested in that, but do you paint murals? And I looked right at him, fully confident, yes I do. Never painted a mural before in my life, ever. So I was okay, so I have like the 17-foot mural I want, like 5 feet high, can you do that? Absolutely, very confident. So that was kind of my first, gig into murals. I really, working for food. I was literally starving out, working for food. But absolutely, I fell in love with it, and the rest is history.
Nice. So, how many murals do you suppose you've painted over the years?
Oh man, possibly 100 or more.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really. I don't know.
Now, are most of them outside?
So there's half are outside, half are inside. So a few have gotten painted over the years, which is always very disheartening.
You've written them out of your will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, one we actually had in our house in Manlius, and I sold the house, and he had daughters, and he's excited about this fairy forest. And then they sold the house 2 years later, then painted all 4 walls yellow. I'm like, oh, it just breaks my heart. But what are you gonna do? So, as most kids, grow up, every kid's an artist, right? I could likes to draw and paint and stuff. That was me. I just happened to see I really enjoyed doing it. And then as I got older, I kind of realized I really enjoyed this. I had a little more skill than the average person did. So it's either, being an artist full-time when I grew up or playing baseball for the Yankees, and I figured artists had a little more viability for,
more promising future.
But yeah, I've been doing it ever, since I was a kid. My very first mural, I have a computer and Photoshop, so everything's all, the concept actually just all sketched out on paper and pencil. And colored it with colored pencils or markers, whatever I had. Again, I was a starving artist. I showed it to the guy. It was this little small concept, and he's like, "Okay, that's great. Go ahead, now make it big." I'm like, "Okay." And then over time, I started learning to use computers. Like I actually could, draft something like this on paper. On the computer, and it's like learning the digital world allows me to do something much more extravagant and bigger than just doing it on paper. Sometimes out of just necessity. So, okay, if you want to keep your job, you have to learn this. Like, okay, I'll learn that, and just you keep on learning new tools. And there's no downside to learning new tools, mediums, techniques.
What's the hardest project you've ever done? This one, right?
No, this was fun. A couple years ago, I worked on an octopus. It was a fully three-dimensional octopus. And there's no YouTube video in the world that can help you build an octopus. So so I was excited to get started, and I was doing it well. And then about halfway through it, I'm like, okay, I don't really know what to do next. And like, I just, I just stopped. I'm like, okay, I don't know where to go next. I'm not sure what step to take. So I kind of stopped, put it on hold. Okay, take a breath, do something else for a while, and I came back to it and started getting creative. Okay, I can do this, and you just start thinking things through. And I talked to some friends. That's one of the things I've done with this as an artist. And as if I can't figure it out, YouTube it, talk to friends, figure out someone who can actually help with it. Even if they can't help with that, they can help you think things through. It's problem solving is really what it is.
So if I need a 3D octopus, you're the guy to call.
I'm your guy.
But that brings up a good point though, because not only are your skills up there, I mean, you've had to really develop those over the years, but you've also had to exercise those creative muscles, just how do I dream outside of the box?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I see here is dreaming outside the box.
Well, it's you can have all the tools, you have the best tools in the world, but if you don't actually sure how to use the tools, there's a me thing. Or you can have no tools at all, but if you're good enough artist, you can figure out how to make something out of nothing too. So it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, cool. Wow. Very neat. So you're gonna sign your name?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, right? I get inspired every time I see Mark's awesome artwork. And I love that he's able to bless the community with a mural that reflects us, who we are, what we care about. And holy cow, an octopus? It was just over the top. But though his art may seem like magic to most of us, it's really the way Mark expertly uses the tools he's practiced using over many years, coupled with his creativity and personal discipline to make it happen. And the same principles are true for the Next Step musician. The medium may be different, but the process of practicing with your musical tools and applying your creativity and discipline are the same. So how are you doing with that? Anytime you decide to go further with your music or your art, there will be challenges to overcome, new mountains to climb, or walls to paint. Just remember that whatever you create, it can be unique and beautiful because it's yours. To those close to you, the blood, sweat, and tears you invest will be obvious. But to the rest of the world, it's like magic. You really can amaze your friends. Hey, thanks for talking with us, Mark. I appreciate you, my friend. And listen, folks, if you live in Central New York or you're coming to visit, be on the lookout for Murals by Mark Noble. They are really something. And if you should happen to run into Mark himself, say hello for us here at Case Tunes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.